Hey there, you looking kinda cute. Have you considered subscribing? Let's have some fun. Bye, kids. Stay safe. I'm only gonna be gone 2 days, so don't do anything stupid, said their mother as she was leaving. Bye, Mom, they all chorused. Love you all, she said as final words, and promptly left. Chris, Kara, and Megan were all excited for the day ahead of them. No limits to anything at all. The freedom was almost unimaginable, but here they were. They all sit in the living room, watching TV together. Chris is watching attentively while brushing his long hair out of his eyes. Meanwhile, Kara and Megan is texting on their phones. Chris lets out a grunt of impatience as his hair falls over his eyes again. Says Megan, just now glancing up. My hair is so annoying sometimes, Chris exclaimed. Do you want us to fix it for you? Said Kara. That doesn't mean chop it off, right? Said Chris, using his words very carefully. No, we'd never. We'll just style it for you, said Megan in mock horror. All right then, said Chris. So the girls went at tugging and pulling his hair. Chris couldn't see what was happening, but was content to keep watching the TV show. After 2 episodes, the girls announced they were done. What took so long? Chris asked. Making it perfect, the girls said in harmony. Chris grunted and got back to his TV show. Little did he know his hair was now in an upside-down French braid with a bun on top. The girls continued watching happily till it was time for lunch. They all pitched in to make their lunches together. Oh, Chris, can I just say how cute you look in that hairstyle? Megan says. Yeah, whatever it takes to hold it up, Chris replies, still completely uninterested in what his hair looks like. Chris, we were wondering, could we play dress up with you? Kelly asks, making the classic puppy dog eyes. Now Chris was 2 years older than Kelly and 4 years older than Megan. He was also 16 and quite petite for a male, but he always protected his sisters no matter what and loved to help them have fun. Though it went against his better judgment, he replied, Why not? With only a hint of a sigh. Yay! Both the girls shrieked. After lunch, they all headed upstairs. The first outfit they trussed toward Chris was Kelly's old cheerleading outfit. Chris was definitely not thrilled to wear it, but his devotion to his sisters was heartwarming. They fixed his hair to match too, with a high ponytail and a red bow. They cycled through outfits at a rate that was mind-numbing. He modeled as a schoolgirl with pigtails and bows. They even gave him makeup to look like a real female. They kept going, each outfit ending in either almost or maybe a little more. Finally, they stopped chorusing, beautiful, and bursting into giggles. Chris looked up, honestly having dozed off during the session. He was now wearing a blouse and skirt. At least it's not as feminine as the cheerleading outfit, he thought to himself. He ran his hands through his hair to try to find out what style it was, but failed. He got up and went to the mirror, his sisters following him, giggling all the way. A sight it was to behold. His hair was in 2 buns, and extremely big ones, too. At the bottom of each bun was a pink bow. He grunted and sighed. His makeup made him look perfectly like a girl, and his eyebrows had possibly been threaded. Come on, Chris, smile. Don't you like it? Said Megan, slightly sad. No, I don't like it. I love it, said Chris in a painstaking smile. So, you'll leave it on for today? Said Kara excitedly. Of course, Care Bear, anything for you, he said. They followed through their normal schedule and ate dinner, watched a movie, and went to bed. Chris slept well, knowing tomorrow his hair wouldn't be burdened like this. Little did he know, as soon as he fell asleep, his sisters crept into his bedroom, undid his hair, and put it in curlers. Chris was a deep sleeper, so that was no problem. Tomorrow is a new day, sis, they whispered into Chris's ear. They both walked away, their giggles echoing in the empty house. If you made a list of things that people couldn't stand in this world, Chris disappointing his sisters would be very near the top. Which is why, when he told his sisters he was getting his hair cut, as per usual, on that morning, he let them cut it for him instead. You sure about this, girls? Of course, Chris. We're experts, they chorused. Sometimes he wondered how they knew exactly what the other was saying. Sisterly powers, he thought. The truth was, the girls had thought and discussed this moment the day before so many times, they almost already knew what he was going to say. Chris closed his eyes as he did with all his haircuts, a habit to say the least. A habit. They were cutting his hair without a mirror in front of him anyway, so it made little difference. He told them that he was cutting it short at the barber. They asked if they could play with him and cut it a little with scissors. He was a little scared, but reassured himself that scissors couldn't do much damage. He felt his hair getting chopped off and sliding down his chest. This feels surprisingly professional, he thought to himself. If he was smarter, he'd realize that your hair usually doesn't all slide down your front when getting a haircut. But he had his own worries at the moment and was focusing on not going bald, not where his hair fell. He felt a few tugs at his hair also, which confused him, but he decided not to comment. "Done!" they announced. He opened his eyes, stood up, and walked to a mirror. What he saw was both relieving and interesting in its own way. They almost cut nothing. They gave him a trim and gave him bangs, then put his hair in pigtails. That was it. "Don't cut your hair, Chris. Please, we love it," he heard behind him. "And you're not even twins," he muttered. Needless to say, he didn't cut his hair. Instead, he opted to play video games while his sisters gave him more outfits and hairstyles and makeup that would be humiliating if it weren't for the comfort of his own house. "Chris, we're bringing over our friend Lucy to the house today," said Megan suddenly. "That's fine." "Oh, okay, thanks, Chris," replied Kara. Yet again, if he was thinking, he'd understand that usually when the twins didn't chorus, it was twice as bad news for him. But he was super close to winning the game, so I don't blame him. In about 2 hours, the doorbell rang. Chris got up and answered it. He slowly opened the door and saw a tall woman and her daughter waiting outside. "Hello?" He suddenly realized he was dressed as a French maid and realized a problem with this. He decided to opt for the benefit of the doubt. "Hello," he said in a much higher-pitched voice than usual. The mother noticed how high-pitched this voice was, but decided it was mean to comment on it. "I'd like to have Lucy stay here for a sleepover today and tomorrow." "Oh, yes, that's fine." "Are you the girl's mother?" This gave him another advantage, for this woman had never seen their mother. "Yes, I'm sorry for coming out like this. Just had a little bit of house cleaning. Well, a lot, really." They quickly wrapped up the conversation, and Lucy joined them. Chris didn't want Lucy to know that he wasn't their mother, because she might go tell her mother. So he told the girls to stay quiet, and that they did. He dutifully did the housework he said he would to secure the impression. He heard the girls giggling behind him. He was on the floor, cleaning it. "What?" he called. They giggled more. He felt his back and butt to see if there was anything there. Needless to say, he only felt his butt and the maid outfit on his back. Wait a minute. His hands quickly rushed up to his butt. He forgot that he let the girls put him in panties, and since the maid outfit had a skirt, his buttocks were exposed. He quickly got up, regained composure, straightened his bun, and went elsewhere. "I'm not made for this," he thought. They went to the store that day, and in case you're wondering, yes, Chris was dressed up as a woman. At least this time his butt wasn't exposed. "All right, I'll grab the groceries. You girls grab whatever you want for around 60 plulas." "Thanks, Chris." Kara and Megan ran off. A sigh escaped from Chris's mouth. He walked around the supermarket. He almost thought people were staring, but he knew that they weren't. He was just being self-aware as usual. The girls and him met up at the checkout counter. They had all their stuff in a bag. "Less than 60, just like you said," Morgan told him. "Good." They started checking out. Yet again, Chris felt that the cashier was staring at him. "I've got to be imagining this, right?" he thought. He wasn't. "Hey there," the cashier said, looking directly at Chris. "I've never seen you around here." "I've never seen you either." "There's something familiar about you." "Is there?" Chris's breathing got significantly faster. "Yes, except you're different. What's familiar is that you look like all the other pretty ladies. But you." Chris's breathing didn't slow down. He knew the cashier didn't recognize him as a boy, but him trying to flirt? That was ever more dangerous. "Oh, why thank you. Do you want to hang out sometime this week? I'd love to meet you and your kids. If the cashier was flirting with someone who he thought had kids, Chris reasoned he was at least 10 to 20 years older than him. I'm sorry, I'm busy this week. This week. Oh, well, at least your phone number then. Okay. He listed off his first-grade teacher's phone number, cracking into a grin as he did. The cashier smiled back, thinking it was meant for him. Well, bye, sweetie. Bye, Chris responded, pretending to blush and look away. Around 2 yards away, the girls giggled on a bench. You're very hot, Megan told Kara. Can I have your phone number? Kara responded, trying to imitate the cashier. They burst into giggles again. Ha ha, very funny, look at me laugh. Let's go, shall we? Chris guided them back to the car, where they drove back home. The girls left him alone for a while. It was 3 p.m. Then he heard it. Hey, Chris, come here. It was the chorus. He knew something was about to happen. He trudged up the stairs and into their room. What? Look what we bought. They overturned the bag. Chris hadn't looked through it at the checkout because he thought it would be all toys and he didn't care. But as bras, panties, swimsuits, skirts, and shirts fell out, he sighed heavily. Well, at least I can change, he thought.